welcome back to Research Flow Podcast. I'm Lisa. Today we have Rohit from Nepal. He is a PhD student at LSU, just like both of us. And we're very excited to hear him talk about a little bit of what he's doing today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I was looking for this opportunity and looking forward to it.
Nice. So I have to say that this episode is actually very special to me
Okay.
because Rohit and I we are former lab mates, right? Now we are in different labs, but we are still friends, I will say. So it's actually an honor for me to have Rohit here with us, and he's an amazing scientist, and it's a pleasure. So Rohit, you're from Nepal. So where exactly in Nepal?
Okay, yeah. So I am from eastern Nepal, southern Nepal to be exact. So by southern, I mean it is in border with India. So India is merely a mile away from my home, my native home.
So you got your bachelor's degree in Nepal, right? What was the major?
Yeah, I did my bachelor's from Nepal. It was from Institute of Forestry, and as name indicates, I was majoring in forest science. So forest science is a degree developed basically by Nepal government to produce forest managers who could manage the forest inside the country well.
And for your master's degree, did you get it also in Nepal or you went to different country?
Oh, it was interesting. So when I was still doing my bachelor's, I got a fellowship to do masters in India in one of their reputed institution. It's called National Center for Biological Science. The government of India manages it, and I got to study wildlife biology and conservation there. So I did my masters in the May, and in the June I was in India starting my. Sorry, I did my undergrad in the May, and in the June I was there in India starting my masters.
So how did you get into the field of ecology, wildlife ecology?
Uh, I would call myself, and among my friends, I call myself an accidental ecologist because I
What does that
always
mean?
wanted to go to medical school.
You wanted to?
Yes,
Oh my
I
gosh.
think that
post my yeah.
yeah.
So post my high school, I spent a couple of years preparing for med school. In Nepal, it's very competitive. Like you have, then we had like 45 seats and 10,000 of people fighting for it.
Oh.
Where you can get free scholarships, so everything is provided.
Ah.
And if you want to pay, it's very expensive. So I wanted to be one of those 45, and I was ready to give 2 years of my time to it, but I could not make it, and maybe for the good. So once I could not do that, I wanted to consolidate myself and still want to be in biology, and it is when
Yeah.
I decided to study forest science.
So when was the point, like when you were like, okay, I cannot get into medicine, so I'm going into biology? What was that moment?
Yeah.
Okay, the moment was I gave myself 2 years that yes, I want to be there, and I can give 2 years of my time planning for it and trying for it. Or more than that, I cannot afford because there's many things to do in life.
Yeah.
And so this was my pre-planned for 2 years. I'll appear for 3 exams like it happens every year. So this year, the year next, and the year after that. If I don't make it, I'm making a switch. And it's towards the end of second year when I was thinking I have only one exam left and I have to make a switch if I don't make it. It's when I was contemplating what I should study, whether microbiology, forestry, or agriculture. And with forestry, it was like it is in the beautiful city, Pokhara. Pokhara is a city of lakes in Nepal. It's number one tourist destination, and the college is in the center of that. So I was thinking,
Nice.
I could not make medical school. Let's go to Pokhara and enjoy there for 4 years. And so I decided to go to the forest science and forestry.
Nice. And now you're in Louisiana where we have swamps and stuff.
Yeah.
One lake city to another lake city.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your research focus during your master's degree?
During masters, as I said, it was wildlife biology and conservation, but it was very open. By wildlife, we just mean animals. It's not like that. You could study plants, you could study swamps, you could study anything and everything during our masters. It was very open. But the only condition was, although we were studying in India, we had to go back to our country to do the fieldwork. You cannot do your project in India because of permission related issues to foreign nationals, and there was the agreement we had to make before even we started the course. So I decided to study blackbuck. It's an antelope, a very charismatic species, and in Nepal we only have one natural population of blackbuck. And I have been there during my undergrad for an educational tour, and I wanted to study them. So why I wanted to study them is because those animals in 1970s, there were only 9 animals discovered. Like every conservationist considered there is no black buck in Nepal, and then they did a survey. They found 9 individuals, and they started conserving those 9 animals, and now they have like 300 animals from those 9 individuals.
Nice.
So I wanted to study how they are surviving among human population.
So how was your fieldwork like during your master's?
Oh, nice. So I went from India to Nepal. I got permission from Department of National Park, and then I went to the field where the park exactly is. I became a paying guest to a homeowner who lives just beside the park, and I lived with them for 4 months just before the COVID. So for 4 months, I was staying in the field, beside the field, and conducting my research sometime from 5 in the morning to like 8 in the evening, and I had a field guide who used to help me.
So what type of data were you collecting at the moment?
Because it was a small park, like 15-mile square park, I wanted to get as much data as I can. Because mostly of two reasons: you could understand animals better with different kind of data, and also you could learn things better. Even data analysis, the more data you have, the more analysis you can do and you can learn. So that those were my two main goals. So I was looking at their behavior, how they are responding to different habitat types, and by behavior you mean how they group, when they move, like when they feed upon, and when they are vigilant. Vigilant is a strategy an animal adopt to balance risk and resource. Although there is a lot of resource, they want to be vigilant that they don't get attacked upon by predators. So I was looking at their behavior. Another, I had divided the entire parks into some grids, and every month I was conducting survey to look at which grids they are using more, so their habitat use. And then because the park was among human population, we had a farmland associated with the core area. So I had my grids in those core area also to look at what crops at what stage they are feeding on upon, or they are actually going to the crop field or not.
Wow, that's pretty
That is
interesting.
really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just correct me if I'm wrong, but you were working with dolphins before that.
Oh yeah, I'm still working with dolphins.
You still, do you wanna tell us about dolphins?
Yeah, so when I got to my forestry, I had a senior who had a project on dolphins. He had a project on dolphins, and he was conducting his research in the western Nepal, where we get river dolphins. River dolphins are endangered animals. So I got in touch with him, and I started volunteering for his project. For his project, he has established a different NGO called River Dolphin Trust. So I was going with him, even without him, doing dolphin survey, fisher survey. I was interviewing fishermen that when they see dolphin, what other fishes do they capture along with dolphins, kind of thing. So I started working on dolphins in 2014, and we still have project going on the same species at different levels.
Nice. So how did you move from dolphins to, you said, the black buck in Nepal?
Yeah, I think I have said it on a couple of platforms that two of my favorite ecosystem are grassland and freshwater. So it was dolphins for the freshwater, and for the black buck it was grassland.
Nice. Okay. Fun. That's great.
Did you get any publication from any of these projects?
For the black buck, for my master's thesis, I was lucky to get 3 publications.
Nice.
Three.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
As a first author?
Yeah, as a first author.
Man.
2 of them are
Dang.
published. One is as a preprint, and I am still juggling between the journals. They are rejecting it, and I am submitting it to the next one. So 2 is published. Third is as preprint, still going on. I have a book chapter from my undergrad.
Did you say a book chapter?
Chapter, yeah. So I was working on
Nice.
otters for my undergrad.
What is this book called so we can put it in the
Oh,
link?
it is from Himalayas to Ganges. I can send you the link to the book.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and I have a chapter there about the distribution of otters and the research on otters in Nepal, a review chapter.
And that was in your undergrad, right?
Yeah, that was.
How do you get to writing a chapter in a book in your undergrad? Because in my undergrad, I was like refilling pipette tips. I wasn't doing any research, you know. So how did you even get that opportunity? That's
Who's
awesome.
your mentor? Who was your mentor? How do you get there?
They must have been amazing.
Yes.
Uh, I, Apart from my major advisor, I was and I'm still working with the guy whom I mentioned during River Dolphin Trust. We are still very good collaborator. He's my senior, mentor, brother, and we always work together on different projects. By now, we have like 3 to 4 publications together. He's also doing a PhD, but we have been working together, and he guides me to this. So it was one of my super senior from undergrad who was co-authoring this book with some foreign guys, and he once said to me if I can write something on otters, because till then there were no major works that was going on otters. So Nepal parks are full of tigers, rhinos, elephants, and everyone wants to work on those so that you can have like elephants in your background and the picture. You can write for like some good grants.
Yeah.
But then these otters are small mammals, right? They live mostly on the water or near the water surface. So no many people who are working, and because his books linked Himalayas to the river system in Nepal, he wanted to write something, have something on the otters. And it was then when I was doing my undergrad research, so he knew that I was working on it. He asked me if I could write it, and I said him at least I can draft it and you can see whether it suits your book or not.
Yeah.
But somehow it made to the book.
Not somehow. You must have done good work.
Wow.
Man. You must have done good
Wow.
work. That's awesome.
And how was, because now you're doing plant phenology? So
Yeah, that's a jump.
Yeah, it's a jump, but I'll not call it a sudden jump.
Okay.
It's still
Yeah.
ecology, right?
It's still ecology, and
Not in
as
that
my
world, but-
professor says, all ecologists, all good ecologists, finally become a plant ecologist. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
so I don't know I'm good ecologist or not, but I can say myself a plant ecologist.
Okay, so before we get into your current project, how do you get to the US? How do you get to LSU? And how was your journey to get here? To get here
Very-
today at the podcast, I'm kidding. To get to LSU. Yes.
The flight was very boring. The journey was very
Okay, I was there to pick you up. Though.
yeah, that made it interesting at the last. But okay, so while I was doing my master's advisor, she's like she was too good. She had her PhD from US and her postdoc from the UK, Cambridge, Oxford University. So while I was still working with her, I expressed my interest to doing PhD, and if I could work with her, she said that, and she's based in Bangalore, where I did my masters. She said that like you have already known to us and you have worked with us, so it's not only the coursework that teaches you more in the PhD. It's people around, it's the people you interact with, and all the different projects that you be part of. And I think US is the hub of that. US is the hub of academician. Although you don't want to stay in the US forever or for longer time, I would suggest you go and get your PhD from the US, just to build network, just to build connection, and see how like research are done over there. So that is one thing that motivated me to go to the US. And then I started looking to the like the labs, the professor, the university, and it's when I came in touch with my then professor here at LSU, and then we talked. And because I was working on animals, he was working on plants, it was very tough to convince him that I can be a good fit to his lab. But but somehow I managed to do that too.
You did a good job.
Yeah, and I got an offer from him, and that's how I landed here in August of 2022.
Nice. Yeah.
August 2022.
Yeah.
It feels
That's
like
when I.
you start at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And now
30
you
years.
have like 5 publications more than I do. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, but he also has a master's degree,
That's true.
and you just jump from your from your bachelor's degree to your
Yeah, no,
PhD.
but you have stuff over plant
before.
science from here, right?
yeah.
Yeah, the recent one is from here.
He just
Yeah,
got a
man.
publication
That's
like
awesome.
a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Yeah, that's
Last
awesome.
week. Yeah. So proud of you. Okay, so
Yes.
tell us a little bit more of your current project. What are you focusing in, and how's that going?
So broadly, there are 2 ways to do research. First one is you generate some data, you have experimental design, you go out, you collect data, you analyze those, you publish your research and you put forward your recommendation or something. Another one is you get aware of the data that is already existing over the internet, over different sources, and you like think upon what are the good questions that could be answered based on those data. So until my masters, I was doing the first part. I was generating data, I was analyzing those, making results, making my like recommendation based on this. For my PhD, I took a different route. I wanted to use the already very large amount of data that is existing it, and it's when this Phenology project came in. So you know this iNaturalist and other citizen science app data. I think all of us have one or two or many in our phone.
Yep.
What these applications are doing it, they are generating data every day, and those data are available to you to find them, to make a questions. So couple of chapters that I framed intend to use these data and also to see if these data are applicable in answering good research questions.
Nice.
So not only I am going to make some result and put forward, I am also going to claim that you can use this data and make very good work that can answer very vague research questions that are lying ahead of us.
I totally agree with that. Do you like, so you're not doing any field work for your PhD?
Yeah, at least not for the first couple of chapters that I'm working currently. Recently, we have thought of something that I could do one chapters where I could actually go and collect data in the field. So for these two chapters, I think I can build a bit more. So you know, iNaturalist, where people post pictures of plants, animal, any living beings, and then the expert or the already lying lot of information help you identify those. So those, if you just consider flowering plants, 20,000, more than 20,000 species of flowering plants have been identified on that platform from US itself. If you consider across the globe, it's like more than 100,000 of plant species. So I am trying to use those 20,000 species of the US, pick some species that is interest to me or to my project where I am studying invasive species, and trying to see if their phenology, the time when the leaf out, flowering, fruiting happen, is different of what happens to their congenetic native species, and if they are getting an edge over native species because of climate change.
Right. So, is there climate change data in iNaturalist that you're able to mine, or?
Okay, so on climate, on iNaturalist, you will get the pictures and the associated metadata, which is kind of where it is observed. You will have the geographic location, when it was observed. So you have the time and you have the location. So there are several platforms like Prisma, Chelsea, where you can get the climate data. And you can get climate data starting from 18th century or 17th century.
That's awesome.
So it's like, I mean, I know this because we were in the same lab, right? So we have some projects together. So
Yeah.
yes, so you get the data from iNaturalist, but to complete your whole project, you will go and collect data from all different sources. Like if you're working with climate change, there is other. You need to consider like what is climate change for you? Like are we talking about temperature? Are we talking about rain? Are we talking about wind? There's climate change is such a big term, right?
Yeah.
That we can discuss for many hours, and yeah, so it really depends on what exactly you and your PI want to focus on. But
Yeah.
from and also using iNaturalist, so that's why I can, yeah.
Nice.
So my questions about iNatural, it is, do you have a lot of data using iNaturalist in Nepal or in Asia, or no? It's not that popular there yet.
It's gaining popularity because to use iNaturalist, you need to have a good smartphone and you need to have internet, right?
Yep.
If not during clicking the picture, but at least to upload
The
them.
picture.
In internet in Nepal is expensive, so I guess more people who are not into plants, who are not into this natural field, will not spend their data to upload pictures to some random site which they
Yeah.
consider it.
Yeah.
But India is very popular and they have their own like season watch and other application where they populate those data. For my case, I'm using mostly data from the Europe and USA where we do have a lot of data, and that's also one of the conditions why I had to make my project US based, because I will have a lot of data.
Definitely. And how difficult it is to work with this data, like because you're working with photos, right? How many hours? You say that you have like a 20,000 photos, or how many photos do you have?
Oh, I have 1.5 million photos
Oy.
across like 30 species from their native land and invaded land, and we have manually annotated each of those photos twice. So
How?
Manually. 3 million, you said?
3 million, and
You've been through 3 million photos?
my team has been through it.
Oh, okay.
My
Still.
team. Okay.
Yeah, across.
Girl.
So I had like 8 interns back home. Last summer I hired them.
How do you manage to hire
awesome.
people, which I think is amazing?
Yeah.
But how do you manage to hire? I guess they are students, or
Yeah,
okay. So walk me through that. How do you connect with these people? Where is the funding coming from? And what were you looking for when you hired them as your team? What are they doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, let's start. How do I get to them? I think social media does that.
Okay,
And
there we go.
yeah, so I'm very active on Facebook, and in Nepal most people use Facebook, Instagram in getting popularity, but it's mostly for like sharing like your pictures, but information flow very well through Facebook. So I just made a post that I need 4 to 5 interns, and I get 85 application within a week.
85.
85. I had a problem of plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did not have any specific qualification that I needed. So I think project need different types of people. At some stage, you just need people to do what you are asking to, right?
Yeah.
Because something has been, you have gone through something, you have specified some protocol, and sometimes you want people to implement those protocol. So it was that phase where I wanted people to do what I'm willing to do, what I'm trying to do. So I got application from people who are doing forest science, agriculture, botany, some engineers, because I wanted to get their intellectual merit if possible. But later on, I decided to get people from plant science, forestry, and agriculture. So, and I finalized taking 8 interns. So they worked for 5 months for me. Funding, my lab supported me for that, and those data were also to be used for some other projects. So it was through my lab, and we collected data all summer from starting in the June to I think September, October. We are collecting data for 5 months.
Wow.
So 2 of them were annotating same image, but they did not know who is doing what. So they were independently doing it, and once they had done it,
You're good.
and once they had done it, I was comparing like how many they are matching it. So
Yeah.
it can be some people randomly saying flower presence absence kind of thing, but if 2 people are matching it, you can be a study of your data.
Right.
And for my final research, I'm only using those annotations that are are compared, and at least 2 people have confirmed it to be at the same stage. So that's how
Okay,
it's working.
nice. Yeah. That is a lot of work. Would you ever train AI to do something? for
Oh
that?
yeah. So I think I briefly mentioned that this data is also being used by some other projects.
Yeah.
So my PI, he is developing an AI tools. They call it Phenobase, where they are trying to extract this phenology data directly from the images,
Nice.
and they are in building phase. They have done some primary results. They have put forward it, but I think 5 years from now, nobody will be annotating image directly.
Yeah.
AI will be doing much part of it.
Yeah.
That is a lot of work.
That
but
is a lot of work.
Someone has to do it right before we get AI to do it.
That's true. Yeah. So you're training it on the stuff that the interns you're training it on the data that the interns gathered, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's because you still have to do all the work. You just have to.
And why did you hire your team from Nepal, not from the US or from Honduras? Or why from Nepal?
You know, your root is always there, right? You can have branches all over the place, but you have to be rooted at one place, and I'm rooted in Nepal. So sometime
Yeah.
in some way
I like that.
you want to get it back to your society, to your people, to your juniors, because I have been saying I had a senior who guided me a lot, and you want to be called that junior who guides that senior who guide the junior. So I had some connections and like some juniors, and I want to give back it to my society. So I went back to Nepal. I want to do it over the summer because I want to start the analysis over the summer. US is in different mood. Nobody there to work for you. Yeah. So those were the two reasons I went back to Nepal. And
That's awesome. That's very cool.
That's really cool. Okay, so you are from Nepal, right? How different is Nepal from the US, especially from Baton Rouge?
oh, we have night over there now, and it's day. So it's not only the time that is different, everything is quite a bit different. Uh, Even the education system is gaining, like it's trying to be modernized as per the Western education in some way, particularly in science, but it's a long way to go. uh, I remember during my undergrad, we used to have a final exams, and all of your grade would come from the final exam. So if you are sick on that particular day, you have to wait for one more year to give the exam next year to pass the course,
Yeah.
because there is no assignment, nothing that would give you the pass mark. If you did not feel good for that 2 hours, you will not feel good for next 1 year because you have failed that subject.
Yeah.
And now they have some internal assignment. Still 75% of your final grades come from your final exams. So it's that different. India was far better, and at least the course that I did, they were influenced by Western education system. So we had all the grading and quizzes that we have here. So it was more used to it, and I say at many places that in kind of India prepared me for the US. My masters prepared me for the PhD.
What is the thing that you miss the most about Nepal? Not including family, because we know we all miss
Yeah.
our family. What is something that you miss the most?
The social life, the social life here, it kind of sometimes feels like cosmetic. I don't know
What do you mean by cosmetic?
I think I know, like kind of fake-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I hear a lot of people. Wasn't it you that told me that sometimes, maybe not, but like sometimes people like in America, everything
was me.
feels like on the surface and
Oh, yeah.
not as like
Yeah,
in depth
that
and
sounds like-
emotionally connected. I think
Is
you
that
said
what
that
you
to me.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of, yeah, there are some good friends here who I can rely upon sharing things and having suggestions, but it's not that case. I still go back to my friends from my undergrad and talk to them to feel good about some certain things. And I think it's also because of me. I have been here very recent. I am not used to the way people interact, and
It's almost 2 years though. It's almost
Yeah,
2 years,
yeah.
right?
So and apart from that, I don't have a major complaint. I have enjoyed each day of my time at Baton Rouge.
You know,
That's good.
you know what I think about relationships, like speaking about friendships and hanging and social life in the US. From my perspective as a Honduran person, I think that for us Hondurans, it's very easy to touch very sensitive topics, even if you don't really know the person. We talk and we laugh about everything. I think that in my experience, again, in my personal experience with Americans, probably you need to build that trust and that connection layer by layer, little by little. But once you know these are my friends, you can get very deep, emotional, and all that. So maybe that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Maybe that's fine. No, I probably don't understand.
Because
it,
I
but-
remember when my best friend, her name is Courtney and Wes. Hi guys, I know you guys are listening. I remember that the first time that I met them back in 2000, I think it was 17 or 18. I barely speak any English, but I was on my phone. I used to be obsessed playing chess. So I was playing
That's
chess
awesome.
the whole time. And they were like, oh, maybe she doesn't know any English, or maybe she doesn't like us. No, I was playing chess the whole time. And now I love them and they are my family. So based on that experience, I think that with Americans, you need to move slow, but very firm. I don't know if that's a saying in
That
English.
makes sense. Yeah.
Does that make sense? to
Slow
you?
but
I don't know.
I don't think so.
En español les decimos paso lento pero firme. How would you say that in English?
It's literally the translation that I would say. But I don't think we have anything really like that. It's
How-
like slow and steady. Maybe,
steady.
yeah,
Okay,
slow
okay.
and steady. Like you have to kind of build a relationship like slower. You can't just be like automatically, oh, what's your deepest, darkest feelings about this
That's
very
true.
peculiar topic? If somebody came up to me like that, I'd be like, what are you talking
Red
about?
flag.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, this person might be,
Psycho.
not psycho, but they
Yeah.
might be like,
Yeah.
trying to get me to say something. I don't know. Like,
Do
yeah.
you have in Nepal, like, for me something very interesting about the US is like they have this personal space, what they call. Is it a thing in your country, in your culture?
I'm very
Not really, like you are all about your friends, family. You need to know everything, and they need to know everything about you. Like back in
Wow.
home, like and it's something that is good about the US. Personal space is sometimes you are not pissed off by the people around. You are just pissed off, and just you need just you need is a time off from everything and everyone, right?
Yes.
And this is very tough to make people understand about this back home, but here you can say them, I need a time off, and you get it on most occasion.
Huh.
Do you know
Okay.
something that I
Yeah.
have learned since I moved to the US and then I love and I wish I learned before is about saying no. Because we, as what you said, like we are all about friends, family, and you're supposed to be there for them always when they need your help. Even if you don't feel the best, you're going to help them.
Yeah.
But I have learned that no, I'm going to help you only if I have the time. Always, if I'm 100%, I'm going to give you the best of me, I will do it. And that is something that I learned here in the US, and I just love it.
Yeah.
Do you have a hard time saying no to friends or saying no in general?
Earlier I used to have, but I think I learned it before coming to US itself. I read some good self-help book, and one thing it taught is to say no. So my first answer is now no, and then I think and I can say yes. But earlier it used to be yes and then no.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, I'll say it no for now, but I'll come back to you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very
I
good.
think that was with when I asked you to come to the podcast, right? You were like, let
No.
me. No, he didn't say no.
He said absolutely not. And then 2 weeks later, he said, well, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I know someone else who told me no again.
That's crazy. Who is that?
I invited her to be on the podcast. It took a couple of months, but it's okay. We are here now.
We're
Yeah.
here now. No, it's a good. Maybe I do that subconsciously.
Yeah.
To say no.
So,
and
how big is the Nepali community in Baton Rouge?
Oh, I was surprised. It's like more than 200 people living here,
then. Nice.
and
That's cool.
maybe
I
within
thought-
5 miles of the campus.
Wow.
And we see each other twice or thrice every year. Like we have some big festivals, like we have a Nepali night that we organize here in the student union, and we have a big like combined dinner associated with it. So we have some cultural show, and then we go back to the ICC to have the dinner.
Nice.
We for some festival we meet in a temple, we cook together, we get the food and we eat. So and it's kind of become like you feel, so when you are missing your home, and you must do so on the festival, when you feel that all of your family members are gathered, and then you gather with this community, and you feel like, okay, I'm also enjoying it. So very big Nepali community. Couple of my friends who are in the north, and they say that they are the only person speaking Nepali there in the campus.
So, Nepali is the official language of
Yeah,
Nepal?
Nepali. And here, sometimes you just see someone in the Walmart and you start talking Nepali. How privileged I am, right? In the foreign land, you are talking in your native language all of a sudden with someone. So yeah, good, very vibrant and very cooperative Nepali communities we have here.
I
That's
love
amazing.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know how robust the community was.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
fantastic.
one time I have a friend from Honduras, and she took me to this place to get my eyelashes done. And the lady was so nice, and I don't even know. She was like, I'm from Nepal. And I was like, yeah, my lab mate is from Nepal. And I was like, and she was like, what's his name? Rohit. Oh, I know Rohit. I was like, okay. And then I went to the doctor, my primary doctor. Is that, yeah?
Yeah.
And then she's also from Nepal, and she also knows Rohit, and she knows the lady. I
That's
was like,
amazing.
everyone
oh my
knows
gosh.
everyone here. Yeah. Okay, so what about your role as PhD student from Nepal at LSU? How involved are you in the international student community?
So yeah, I am very active in Nepalese Student Association. I have not had any post there, but I try to attend all the activities. And if you know, most of our events are open to everyone. Like no matter what country you belong to, you can come there, you can enjoy there, you can enjoy the cultural show and things. So that is one part. Another, we have BioGrads, and we have Isha.
She's the
What do I do?
Yes, yeah, she's the president, and I am a fundraiser officer into it, in the BioGrads committee. And this is also kind of a safe place for us, because we are on the same boat but with different weights on us.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of safe place where you can put your weights on the ground and have relax, because we have similar issues, similar problems, and we all are juggling through it. So I enjoy being at BioGrads, mostly like what space it creates for us as a grad student.
That's awesome. You also are in charge of maybe setting something up that has to do with international students in the BioGrads community.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk more about that?
Okay, so you
I'm
are
plugging it.
Yeah,
if you guys
yeah.
want to come.
What is this? I am an international student.
We did it. We did it last year. Teaser. Okay, sorry. Go, Rohit.
Can you remember?
Oh, the food.
Yes, the food.
That was a success, because people still remember it, right?
What is it called?
Around the world. So we have
yes.
this event around the world, and this is to acknowledge that we have very much diversity among us here. It is to reflect what diversity we bring when it comes to the food table, you know.
Yeah.
So we have talked about languages and other barriers, but there is something very different, but still very much appealing, attracting people, and it's food. So we have started this last year as a fundraising event, but more so as to bring people together on a table over lunch.
Yes.
And we are continuing it this year, where you can cook something that is famous in your part, or you cook very often in your for your dinner, and you know that you think that people also might like it. So we all cook something, we bring it, we serve to each other, and then we raise some fund that again goes for the graduate student.
Yes.
And we are doing it again early next year.
I will do it this year. I didn't do it
Yay.
last year.
Yeah, you have to come up with something.
Yeah, I will do it. Yeah. I remember at my previous university, we had something very similar. The only different thing is that we included like talent.
Talent.
So
yeah.
people were dancing or singing
Okay.
the same day. So they have like, it was like big, because they like at the union we have tables
Yeah.
and numbers, and then we have presenters like dancing, like
Nice.
it was
have
amazing.
something like that, right?
We initially thought of making it like cultural show also, where people would
Yeah.
dress in their like a cultural uniform or something like that, cultural attire. But something did not work out, and we decided to make it to the food only.
Yeah.
But that was the original plan, to have people a culture mini culture show kind of thing.
Yeah. That's awesome.
When I did it at EIU, I actually made it to the front page of the newspaper.
Oh my
With the
gosh.
butterfly. Yeah, I'm
Do you
going to
still
post
have
like,
it?
here. I will show it to you. It
Yay.
was very pretty.
That's awesome.
I was dancing and whatever. But yeah, that's really
That's
good.
awesome.
Do you want to continue in the BioGrads? Yeah, I don't know, maybe as a president or vice president in the future,
Yeah, check my job, please. Get to it.
or staying in the same position.
Yeah.
I want to be in the BioGrad at least for one more year. Like by the time I'll be in the fourth year, and then I'll be targeting my thesis.
Yeah.
But until then, I think president and vice president will come up with very diverse kind of roles and responsibilities, and I have to think of it. I have to see.
Say no first and then think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
And come back
yeah,
to it.
I would say no now, but when they invite application, I might fill out it.
Right.
What will you say, I mean, for both of you guys, if let's say I want to be part of the BioGrads, like in the committee, what is something that I need to know or have? What should I bring to the committee? Or I guess, what are the expectations, if you have any?
Like to get elected, or to be like the skills you need to execute your job on the committee correctly. Okay, so elected, you kind of just rely on people liking you and
Oh, boy.
like picking you as the person. I don't know. I was worried when I
You were
casted
popular.
I know. Well, I was worried when I casted my presidential ballot, because I was like, I don't know. Let's see how it goes. I wasn't gonna do it anyways. First of all. A tangent, and then so to be like in the committee, you kind of have to be really good at seeing what needs to be done and where the gaps are of like what you need to do for like an event for a specific, like if you're the manager of like the accounts and stuff, you have to make sure that all of that is in shape. You have to make sure everybody's updated on what you're doing. That like the president's role is basically just managing and making sure that everybody's doing their job basically, and like it's going well, and giving the support to people who need it basically. I can't really tell. I was like the treasurer as well, but I really didn't do too much other than like
You're not
talk to the fundraisers. Well, it's not that I didn't do anything. It's more like my role was way more devoted to like making money, right? But now it's like devoted to making sure that everybody's like okay and that the club runs smoothly. So yeah.
And how do you manage people like with different personalities and probably different personalities, I would say.
Well,
I
Or
think
it's not that difficult, like
it's not that well. The committee we have is amazing. Like
Yeah.
there
love
isn't
that.
one specific person that I'm worried is going to offend anyone,
wow.
which I think is very awesome and maybe doesn't happen all the time. I don't know, but everybody's very cordial and very willing to
Polite.
help one another, and I think
That's
that
really
is really a good thing.
Yeah.
Rohit included.
yeah, really.
yeah, I think all of us first acknowledge that it's our second job, right?
Yeah.
We are into something very deep and very big, and we are somehow finding time to do that, and we all are appreciating it for each other's effort. So I don't think even as a president or as a fundraiser, I would have any issue with particular individuals into it. So it's all of us putting some efforts to do something bigger, right?
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay, so going back a little bit to your research, if you have to describe your research, your dissertation project in 5 words, what will you say?
In 5 words, let's go to
That's
the
hard.
innovative first. Innovative. Yeah, innovative. It can be phenology,
Okay,
invasive species.
that's 2 words.
Oh, okay.
One left.
Only one left. Okay.
Just kidding.
And then it can be wildflowers.
Wildflowers.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Because I got this sudden interest in wildflowers. You know, I have been reading papers, and all of us talk about these oaks, right? And we hardly see it flowering. We see some seeds when it fall down, but we never talk about the flowers that grow under this shade, the small beautiful wildflowers, and they have been contributing a lot to pollination, like and then to the soil carbon sequestration. So my next thing is I want to do something to conserve native wildflower in my native place in Nepal. I want to do something for less talked about plants that we just consider it's always there, we always see it. I want to work. So wildflower is something that is coming up.
That's awesome. What's your favorite wildflower?
Okay, so this is the thing, no? You consider all of those as wildflowers, and you don't want to go what they are called, right? I can't come with one name now, but there are many. Like back in Nepal, we are. I don't know if it's going off the topic, but we are Hindu. We worship idols and we worship with flowers. So all those flowers that my mom offers to God are my favorite flowers.
Really? That's
Okay.
amazing.
Talking about that, what is this flower that is like orange and that you guys use in a lot
Okay.
of festivals?
Festivals. So
Yeah.
Because that flower is also very common and very used in the Mexican culture for Dia de los Muertos. But I don't really know why this flower plays a. Because I see it like.
yeah, it's called Saipatri in Nepali. I don't know what its exact
Is it a
English name is.
marigold?
Marigolds.
Yeah,
Yeah, marigold.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's in different color, but the orange one are more famous. So we have different festivals. There's a festival where sisters worship their brother, and they both put this garland around each other's neck, and even this flower is offered to all the gods, and it is seasonal. So you plant them in the July, August, and they start flowering October, November, and November, December, October, November is a major festive season in Nepal. So these flowers flower in that season, so they are very much popular. and people kind of do very like farming of these flowers, like how you farm Christmas tree over here. So marigold flower
Okay.
is a big business, like big small kind of business where a lot of people do this, and they export the flowers to the market areas where people buy it. In the village, you grow it, you just don't buy, right? You just
Right,
grow
yeah,
everything what you
okay.
want, and even the flowers. So yeah, my mom, she had a lot of marigold plantation around our home, some China roses and all those stuffs.
That's
Nice.
really good.
That's awesome.
Okay, so what is something that you will say to any of any student from Nepal who has never lived in a different country but Nepal, and they want to come to the US to do a PhD? What is something that you want to tell them?
I would say, like, we should move around, we should see different places, we should be with different people, and people are generally good. Like, you might listen some incidents, some accidents happening, and you should not make a general overview of something just by listening an incident. People are generally good, you'll find good people everywhere, and I feel it's more of a people, more of a society, more of a cultural difference that teaches you more to adapt to the society. So yeah, step out of your comfort zone and just move around, go to different places, and US can be one of those.
That's
That's
awesome.
really good. So you mentioned that you are very active on social media, right?
Mhm.
So you use Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter a bit. Yeah, mostly Facebook and
Do
Instagram.
we plug here on the podcast?
Did we what?
Like plug?
What
like
is that?
tell them our Facebook and Instagram
Oh,
so
we
that you
should
could
do that.
Yeah.
We have never done it.
Yeah, if you do you want to
Damn.
start it? If
Yeah,
you want to
let's do
set
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
tell them your Facebook handle.
Yes, there we go. Because
Okay. So if you want to plug anything, we haven't really done this, but
No.
you can tell us your Facebook and like Twitter and Instagram if you would like.
Yeah, on the Facebook and Instagram, it's Rohit Jha, my first and last name. You should be able to find it
Nice.
because I'm a bit popular.
ResearchGate as well. So you guys
Yeah.
can read his articles.
Yeah,
Yes.
on ResearchGate,
Yeah.
Google Scholar, and yeah, I have started something last summer. It's called data dynamics. So data are numbers, and they don't look good to eyes. And you want to visualize numbers as much as possible. So I have initiated this where I go off the topic, not based directly on my research, something related to economics, something related to like linguistics, something, and then I get some data from some reliable source. I make some beautiful, maybe graphs or something. I animate those and post on those. So I have this data dynamics page on Facebook
It's really cool.
where you can
That's awesome.
not only you can view, you can also request that I want to view this data in this format. If possible, you can supply the data, or I can find it and I can do that, and we all can view how it looks
That's so cool.
on a graphical
I
basis.
love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's called data dynamics.
that's cool. Do you know Reddit?
Oh yeah, I'm on
Familiar
it.
with it
Yeah.
with
Wanna read
the
it?
platform, yes. So, okay. Should I introduce the bit or
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, we're going to read a Reddit post, and it's going to be about some aspect of the PhD journey, and then we're going to discuss it with Rohit and kind of see what he thinks. Okay, so this is from r/PhD. It's from Calip Sonim. I have no idea if I said that right. Okay, it's the title is "Things Do Get Better." Hey, I posted some months ago about how lost I felt. I wanted to quit my PhD. My PI was treating me like crap, screaming at me, making me feel worthless, and not allowing me to analyze my own data. Now all changed. I am expected to submit by end of February, even if this means finishing up stuff while on unemployment benefits around 60% of my PhD salary. I am analyzing my own gene expression data, and my boss told me that she saw a drastic change in my attitude, and she is being very nice and supportive. Found out some problem in the analysis/data set. I researched ways to fix it and to improve the situation, and just today she told me that I should be proud of that and that I should make my self-esteem better. I don't have panic attacks anymore. Sometimes I cry at work when unexpected problems arise, but after my little crying session, I go back to work and find out things are not too bad. What changed is difficult to say. In summer, I was very anxious and distracted. The mood in my lab was crap. All meetings were bad. Communications was horrible. The lab changed a lot in the meanwhile. apparently some external person talked to my PI. My personal life got more stable, and my personal life got more stable. Now I am kind of sad that everything will be over soon because I feel that only now, at the end of my 4th year, I am enjoying what I'm doing. But hey, better late than never. Posting this because this subreddit was actually very helpful and made me feel less alone this summer. Heart.
Yeah, such a heartwarming kind of post, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is also kind of some kind of positive things. Like sometimes things don't work as you want, and all you can do is wait for things to happen. Sometimes it's and I don't say every time you have to wait, but sometimes it's kind of, because PhD is a long journey, 5 6 years. If you count in number of days, it's like 2,000 days. You might have a couple of hundred days off, and that's like 6 months. So you might have a semester off, and sometimes you cannot point out what's going bad, whether you or your PI or the surrounding or the coursework you are taking. Sometimes the coursework you are taking, which you will not remember even a semester or two from then,
Yeah.
is taking a lot of mental toll. You can just wait for it to over. Yeah, this kind of post, and I feel sometimes it's good to wait or go through your bad phase to get to the good phase. What do you guys think of it?
Yeah, for sure.
I think that that is PhD.
Yeah,
That is
literally.
like life in general, right? You will
Yeah.
have really good days, you will have no really good days, but at the end, I think that whoever is around you and the impact of your friends and your PI and your lab mates is very important. I think
Yeah.
that, yeah, we have friends, and I think that knowing and having people that you can relate and be vulnerable with them
Yeah.
is very important. I think that we talk about this, like your relationship with your PI, and I will say with your lab mate, is like a love and hate relationship.
Yeah.
Some days you're going to love them, you're going to love each other. Other days you are like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
I want to be done with this. But that doesn't mean that you're going to quit. It's just
Yeah.
part of the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, for my first 2 years here, I think they were like the hardest. The first year, I think here was like the hardest of my life. I wanted to leave. I was gonna go screw off to a farm in Hawaii, right? I don't know if I
Remember.
told this to everyone.
You have not.
Anyways, yeah, that was with my first year of PhD, and then I started hitting my stride. I started like actually being comfortable with data analysis, because when you first start out, you don't know what's going on, and I would cry monthly in the stairwell. You know what I mean? It happens. It's fine. It doesn't happen anymore, right?
That's
I don't do it
amazing.
anymore.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like really frustrated, I know to just like take a walk and then come back to the data later. You know, like, so you've developed things that you're able to like cope with. You kind of learn how to deal with like the bad stuff that happens. And then the bad stuff happens less often the more you do it, because you're actually able to have experiences and then know, you know, this error code means that I just have to do this. But at the beginning, you didn't even know what the error code mean, right?
Yeah.
As an example. So yeah, it is really heartwarming to see that this person like is now kind of sad that they're leaving, even though they were like about to quit at the beginning. That is really cool.
Yeah, I would say that putting myself as an example, I think that this year has been the most challenging year of my life, academically speaking. I think like you guys know, like the first 4 months, I will say, I was probably crying every single day.
Yeah.
It was so hard and so difficult. I don't wish that to anyone, not even I don't have enemies, but not even to someone that I don't like.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it was horrible experience. Like, I wish I can remove that experience from myself, but at the same time, no, because I'm so happy now.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's so interesting that I needed to leave and have those experiences to be at the lab, to be at the correct place where I am right now. So everything happened for a reason, and
Yeah.
everything gets better.
Yes.
Even though in the moment you don't think that is possible.
Yes.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's correct. So there's a famous saying that when you are in good, everything is going good, start preparing because something bad might happen.
Yeah.
And when everything is going bad, keep smiling because something good is around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that like when after having such a rough moment or rough couple of months or rough couple of years during your PhD, in somehow whatever comes after that, you're like, I can with this.
Okay.
Yeah, literally.
It's
Yeah,
okay, come,
exactly.
I'm here, I'm
Yeah.
ready. It's going to be difficult, yes, but I know how to handle this now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
Anything else that you want to share? Like, do you want to be in academia when you finish your PhD? Do you want to go back to Nepal, or it is too soon
Yeah.
to ask?
It's too soon to.
Huge.
Valid. I think that's
Yeah.
been everybody's
Yeah.
answer,
Yeah.
but that's okay. It's good.
It has been a good journey. Okay. Yeah, I want to be doing research in some capacity, if not in academia, for some research institution or as an independent research. Yeah, I want to keep exploring science. I want to explore my nature around, and yes, I want to contribute to the conservation overall. That's what we need to. We humans are like super powerful in this Anthropocene. So, and we should be kind to all the nature around us, all the
Yes.
creature around us,
Yeah.
and I'll be doing that.
Great.
Nice.
You wanna close?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Thank you, Rohit, for
Yep.
yeah. Let's go.
Yeah,
For
thank you,
being
Rohit.
with us and talking with us. Thank you for joining us and join us for next time. And yeah, have a good one.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. That was